Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to do something a little bit different we have not done before. I'm going to actually respond to another video put out by another channel, a channel that I have been subscribed to for a long period of time. And this is not, I'm responding because I disagree with a video recently put out by this channel, but by all means, I love this channel. You should go and subscribe to it. It's Goshen Prepping, okay? And they also have a homesteading, family channel called Out of Goshen I've been subscribed to for years. So you should definitely subscribe to that one as well. But he recently put out a video, Goshen Prepping put out a video on gold, and this may be in response to a lot of other prepping homesteading channels that have taken on advertisers, because here's the reality, folks. YouTube hates us, and they have my earnings and ad revenues have been slashed over the years, especially in the last year even. So we look at advertisers, ways to earn money for our videos, and people who will support and sponsor our videos and our content, and that's fine. And so a lot of them sometimes are precious metals brokers, people who handle these sorts of things, and I'm a big believer in this. And so there have been a number of channels who have taken this on, and he's coming from the perspective of, listen, this is not good. I will never do this, and that's fine. We can have some disagreements on that. He basically brought up 3 points, 3 reasons why he doesn't recommend precious metals for it hits the fan type situations, when the sheep manure hits the rotating oscillator, which we all know is coming. And there's a lot of things we absolutely agree on for sure. And, coffee and bullets, Band-Aids, I have all these things. Yes, good to have all that stuff, and knowledge especially, a good attitude especially. But precious metals, in my opinion, cannot be denied. And so this is one of the reasons why I brought on Genesis Gold Group as a sponsor for this channel. There are links in the description below. But first, I want to address these 3 things. Okay, and I'll include a link to his video below so you can check out his reasonings. And you can watch that. Again, you should go there and subscribe to his channel because he puts out a ton of good content. And so, as well as the Out of Goshen one too. Anyway, so his first reason of why you don't use, gold or silver or precious metals in it hits the fan scenario. Number 1, he says, the market is unpredictable. Well, I agree. The market is unpredictable. And the market, in my opinion, is completely and totally manipulated. The COMEX, or what is called the Commodities Exchange, is completely and totally manipulated. There was no doubt about that, and that's been going on for the last 100 years. Now, I'm going to give you an example of what I give other people over and over again. This is the size of a modern-day dime, okay? Okay, it's a 1964 silver dime. This is 90% silver. This was put out in 1964. The last year it was made in silver. This is a 2,000-year-old denarius. A 2,000-year-old denarius. Now, at the turn of the century of 1900, this silver dime was paid for a day's wage. We know this by watching the movie Far and Away with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, as well as other historical records. If you worked in a factory at the turn of the century in 1900, or around that time, you were paid a dime, a silver dime, for a day's wage. In the Bible, in Matthew chapter 20, it says very clearly that the person, the workman, was paid a silver denarius for a day's wage. Now, do some thinking here. That's 2,000 years of history. 2,000 years of history of the worker being paid a dime's worth of silver for a day's wage. It's only in the last 100 years that this has been manipulated. One day, that manipulated market will collapse, and this will return to its historical buying power. Because that person who was paid that day's wage had to pay their rent, they had to buy their clothes, they had to pay their taxes, they had to buy their food. Everything had to come out of that day's wage of 1 silver dime for a day's wage. And there's 2,000 years of history. Matthew chapter 20 and 1900, a factory worker working in a factory. A dime's worth of silver for a day's wage. Yes, the market is unpredictable today, but that's not the way it's historically been. It's manipulated. The COMEX is completely rigged by JP Morgan and some of these other banks. Because gold and silver is a competitor to the dollar, and they don't want competitors to the dollar. And so when the central bank took power at the time of Woodrow Wilson in 1912-ish, the manipulation began. And the market has been completely rigged since, because they will have no competitors to the dollar. So that's my answer to his number one argument. The market is unpredictable. Yep, so what? That will not last forever. When this collapse happens, and it always will be because manipulated markets always collapse throughout history, they always do, this will correct to its historical buying power. All right, number two, you pay a broker's premium. He says, well, you have to pay a premium over and above. Well, that's the way it is with anything. I mean, this microphone costs so much to make. It costs the manufacturer so much to make, but then they sell it at a higher price because that's how they make money. Well, the broker has to make money. It costs so much to take the ore out of the ground, ground it into powder, use chemicals or heat or whatever they use to separate that silver content and then melt it down and then transport it to where it can be sold either for manufacturing purposes or retail or jewelry or whatever. There's a price associated with that, and then they have to charge a little bit above that in order to make money. That's the way it is with anything. Everything costs money to produce, and then there's the markup of that production that you make money, the retailer makes money with it, or the broker or whatever. That's totally normal. That's fine. So using a broker gets a premium, and the reality is, it doesn't matter what premium you buy this at, it's still a gift. Based on its historical purchasing power, if you can buy this for like $2 or whatever it is, compared to what has been as a day's wage, what's a day's wage now for a minimum wage worker? Like $100, maybe more than $100, $150, depending on where you're working at a restaurant or whatever. It's a gift. If you're charging $5 for that dime, it's a gift compared to its historical buying power. The premium, who cares? Historically, it's a gift. Okay, because of the manipulation. All right, and then his last reason was, well, somebody might steal it from you. Okay. Guys, people will steal anything from you. In a world collapse, sheep manure hits the rotating oscillator world, yes, people will steal anything and everything not nailed down. I have been to third world countries. In fact, the best example I can give you, and this is what I want you to go out and do some research on. There's a guy back in the late 1990s and early 2000s. His name was Ferfal. Ferfal. Ferfal from Argentina. And he documented the collapse, an economic collapse and crime that took place in Buenos Aires. And if you read he's got a website, you can look for Ferfal Argentina online and you will find his website. You will find his writings on Facebook and YouTube, all kinds of stuff. Great interviews. And he goes into detail. When the collapse of Argentina happened in Buenos Aires, there was a We Buy Gold and Silver shop on every corner of Buenos Aires. A We Buy Gold and Silver shop. Because people had gold and silver. And when it came to putting food on their table, they would sell little by little that gold and silver in order to obtain the food that they could eat. Little by little, they did this. They knew it all at once because the collapse of the currency would inflate away. And so they did it little by little. And they used that to put food on the table or get the things they needed, getting medicine or whatever. Absolutely. When you look at in Venezuela right now, we buy gold and silver everywhere. Everywhere. Whenever there's a collapse, people will buy the gold and silver and put it into the currency that is being used at the time, or people who have the means to take a large portion of savings or a large wealth that they possess, and they put that in gold and silver in ways to hold it. Gold is an absolutely terrible investment. It's not supposed to be an investment. It's a hedge. It's a way for preservation. When everything else collapses, when everything else goes down the toilet, when everything else goes the way of the dodo bird, gold and silver will always be there. History says so. And I know there's guys out there like Dave Ramsey and all. It's an archaic rock. It doesn't mean anything. It's not worth anything. He's living now. He's not living in history. He's not seeing what has happened historically or even in recent history like Argentina and Venezuela. The way to preserve your wealth has always been gold and silver. And this is why I promote Genesis Gold Group. Those are the three reasons that Goshen Prepping put out, and I wanted to respond in a kind and respectful way. Again, go subscribe to his channel. He has lots of great information, but I just wanted to give my counter argument to that and just say, no, I disagree. There's always going to be people who will steal things from you. There will always be a broker's premium. There will always be an unpredictable market. But I'm looking at things throughout history of how people have survived collapses throughout history. And gold and silver always has been a vehicle to preserve your wealth. Always. And I mean, go research Furfowl. He tells a story one time of a guy who had a gold chain link, and every so often he would break off one of those links and take it into we buy gold and silver, and that would give him enough money to buy food for a number of weeks or a month or whatever it was. Every so often he'd just break off one of those links and take it in. That was enough gold to be able to buy the stuff. There's people who searched the sewers in Buenos Aires during the collapse of Argentina, and they would try to find little trinkets of silver or some kind of precious metals that would go down the sewers, and they use that. The demand for precious metals was through the roof during that collapse, and it is the same in Venezuela. So, listen, there's my points. If you have a large 401k or if you have an IRA and you are seeing, like I'm seeing, everything just inflate away, listen, the major banks today are only giving 0.5% interest on your money if you keep it in savings. That's nothing, because inflation is like 9 or 10 officially, but it's really like 30% inflation right now if you're honest with yourself. And you add shrinkflation and all that stuff into it, you're losing your money. Your money is just inflating away. If it's in an IRA or 401k or in the bank somewhere in a savings account, it's just inflating away. And bonds aren't going to give you anything. Bonds are only going to pay at the most. An iBond's going to pay you 9%. What are you doing? The only thing that's going to hold its value in the times that are coming is going to be precious metals, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. That's why I have Genesis Gold Group that I refer you to, because I can't do this. It's not my job. And everyone's going to have a different strategy and different needs. So I say, hey, go talk to those guys in Genesis Gold Group, and you call them and they'll help you with a strategy. That's not my job. But at least I have someone to give. I have my own thing I'm doing. And yeah, someone could steal it, but Genesis Gold Group has vaulting services. You can have it. That's long been a way you can preserve your metals, is to have someone else vault it for you. A company you can trust, who's not going to turn it over to the government if they demand it. There's a lot. You could bury it in the backyard somewhere. There's lots of ways to secure what you own. Lots of ways. Anyway, that's my response to the video. And again, check out Out of Goshen and Goshen Prepping. Great channels. I really respect the things they do, and I love their content. And I just wanted to go ahead and give a response to that, because it's something I hold near and dear to my heart, because I love history. So, okay, I'll leave it at that. Guys, check out our merchandise store at teespring.com. Links in the description below. The Stupid Should Hurt shirt. If you're still keeping your money in the bank and watching it inflate away, that's kind of stupid, and it's going to kind of hurt watching all that money. Yeah. So anyway, links in the description below where you can buy the shirt. And check out our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. Links in the description below. You can find them. Their information is pinned to the top. They can help you with a gold strategy and a precious metal strategy that you can either hold, or you can have it vaulted, or there's lots of options for you. And you can check that out. Link in the description below. All right, guys. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. Hey guys, I'm happy to introduce an American Homestead sponsor, Zervita Zeal. Now, first off, I only accept sponsors from products that I use and believe in. My family uses Zeal mainly because we want to ensure a healthy immune system. You see, it's made up of only whole food concentrates and includes no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The included sweetener is all natural from fruit and the stevia leaf. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's kosher. In 2018, my youngest son was involved in a bike accident that resulted in the surgical removal of his spleen, and that's an important part of his immune system. And because we live on a farm, you can guess that having a healthy immune system for our family is very important. Some of the included ingredients are beetroot, chicory root, turmeric, moringa, blueberries, cranberry, goji berry, milk thistle, ginseng, alfalfa, broccoli, and so much more. It's these natural ingredients that can easily be made into a powerful and tasty drink that my family can make and feel good about. So sign up and give it a try today. Every purchase you make goes to help the homestead so that we can continue to make great homesteading videos for you. Link is in the description below. Go ahead, give it a try. Hey
guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.